Welcome back to the Pink Floyd Collectors YouTube channel. I wanted today to look at the David Gilmour picks that I own and just talk a little bit about them from some knowledge that I've gained from this book by Phil Taylor, The Black Strat. If you don't own a copy of that, I 100% recommend it. It has been updated several times. The first pick is the Oyster Teardrop. Now, David Gilmour started using these around the time of the Wall recordings. Before then, he was using typically one very similar to this or the typical shape, and then he went to this. I don't know whether he just preferred the feel of it in his hand. That much information isn't recorded. This has gone through various different types in terms of how it's branded. But David Gilmour himself refuses to give these out. I was lucky enough to be given this by Phil Taylor in Paris in 2002. I bumped into Phil at a shopping mall actually in Paris and stopped and really had a good chat. I think we were talking for like half an hour, 40 minutes. And he said, look guys, come to the stage after the show. We'll chat again, see how the show went. And when we did that, he presented us with one each of these. So yeah, I've always treasured it since then. And you can actually feel that it has been slightly used as well. So it's a real beauty. And as you can see, it's got that like turtle texture to it. So these, it seems, are his preferred pick. It's heavy, so there's no bend in it at all when it hits the string. The second one I own is this one, and this is an unusual one. I can't find a lot of information on this, but these are more for stabbing the strings. So it's a very unusual shape. It's by something called Picato. I must admit, I'm not a guitarist. I don't know a lot about these brands. I was lucky enough to get this one in Brighton in 2015. He did a warm-up show and I was lucky enough to be presented with this. Again, something I treasure. It's got the David Gilmour branding. I've seen it in a couple of official photos, so it is from his stock. The last one is this one, and this is from a company called Herco. I'll try and get that in focus for you. Now, David has used Herco since the 70s and actually stopped using them around the early to mid 80s when he switched over to this one. And then apparently around the time of the On an Island tour, or certainly recording, he went back to using these. It's a bit more flexible. So it's a Flexi 75. They do come in different gauges. But again, unlike the ones in the 70s that he was using, he's actually had these branded as David Gilmour. You can see it's in that typical text from that period around the On an Island. So that's the three picks I'm lucky enough to own, really ones I treasure. I can't afford his guitars when they come up for auction, but lucky enough to own three picks. Hopefully that gives you a bit of insight. Any questions, obviously put them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. And as we are starting now to get a lot of inquiries from publications, if you do want these photographed properly, do let me know. Thanks.